This morning, the NFL investigating this prank call to draft hopeful Shedeur Sanders, son of NFL legend Deion Sanders, picking up the phone Friday, thinking it was a coach inviting him to join the team.
Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing? Good, been waiting on you.
Ready to go. Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. But you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
The caller abruptly hanging up.
What does that mean?
But it wasn't a coach or anyone from an NFL team.
This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
Instead, it was these young men seen in this video circulating on social media.
Hey, do you forgive the prankster?
God is so good, man.
Okay, man. Thanks very much, buddy. We need hard knocks, bro. We need hard knocks.
I don't feel like this happened, for no reason. All this is of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we on the bigger and better things.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, I believe, allegedly, was also involved on this scandal to embarrass, humiliate, and sabotage both Deion Sanders and his son Shedeur.
Was this just a messed up prank, or was something more serious going on behind the scenes? When Shedeur Sanders, the son of NFL legend Deion Sanders, got that phone call on draft day, it seemed like his moment had finally come. But that call turned out to be a fake, and it set off a storm of drama, finger-pointing, and theories that haven't stopped since. Now, Deion Sanders isn't staying quiet. He says the NFL didn't just mess with his son. He believes the league set out to punish both of them. He says it wasn't just one bad joke. It was a warning, a setup, and a message for powerful owners who didn't like how loud, proud, and confident the Sanders family has been. And here's the kicker. Some NFL insiders are even backing him up. But others, they say Deion's just making excuses, that he's blaming the league to cover up what really went wrong. Even some former players are speaking out against him. So what's the truth? And now, reports are coming out that NFL owners are responding behind closed doors. Some flat out denying any collusion, and others allegedly telling teams to keep their distance from Shedeur. But are these just rumors? Or is something shady really going on? Let's break down how one of the most hyped quarterbacks in the draft became the center of a scandal, and what it says about race, power, and pride in the NFL. Draft night was supposed to be the highlight of Shedeur Sanders' life. After years of training, interviews, and public hype, this was his moment. Cameras were rolling, family was gathered, he looked calm, hopeful, and ready. Then the phone rang. The man on the other end introduced himself as Mickey Loomis, the general manager of the New Orleans Saints. He told Shedeur they were about to draft him. Excitement filled the room. Shedeur smiled and said, "Let's be legendary." But just seconds later, the caller dropped a strange line. "You're gonna have to wait a little longer." And then, click. Confusion. Silence. Something fell off. That GM wasn't Mickey Loomis. It was Jax Olbrich, a 21-year-old prankster and the son of Falcons defensive coach. He'd somehow gotten Shedeur's private number and impersonated a team executive on live video. He even recorded it and posted it online. The video blew up, instantly going viral. People laughed, but others were angry. The NFL launched an investigation. Jax later posted an apology, calling it selfish and childish, but many said the damage was already done. On a night meant to celebrate Shedeur's future, he was mocked in front of millions. For Deion, this was no joke. It felt like something darker, something planned, and from that moment, he began asking, "Why my son? Why now?" After the prank video exploded online, reporters rushed to get a reaction from Deion Sanders. TMZ caught him walking through an airport just days later. He was smiling, laughing, even talking about how God is good. He said he forgave the prankster and brushed it off like it was no big deal. But that calm face, it might have been a mask. According to insiders close to the Sanders family, Deion was privately livid. They say he believed this wasn't a one-time prank. It was part of a larger effort to embarrass and break his family. People close to him say he's been telling his friends, "They're trying to humble us." His cryptic tweets only added to the buzz. In one, he wrote, "A lie don't care who tells it. The truth may not be popular, but it wins." Another tweet read, "Create in me a pure heart and renew the right spirit." Many fans believe these tweets were directed at the NFL. Deion isn't just a proud father. He's a man used to control, used to winning. So watching his son go through this on national TV, especially in such a disrespectful way, lit a fire under him. Behind that smile was a man who was convinced this was war. And it wasn't just about Shedeur. It was about power, race, and respect. Before draft day, Shedeur Sanders was on top of the world. ESPN, Bleacher Report, and even NFL.com had him listed as one of the top quarterbacks in the 2025 class. Some said he was the next big thing. His stats at Colorado were impressive, and his leadership was off the charts. But then draft day came, and everything changed. One by one, quarterbacks got picked. Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Show, Dylan Gabriel, all drafted before Shedeur. Some fans assumed teams were waiting for the perfect moment to grab him, but that moment never came. Even Cleveland, who had shown tons of interest, passed on him 6 times before finally taking him in the 5th round. They'd interviewed him, scouted him, even had dinner with him. Yet when their picks came around, they said no. This didn't feel like a normal draft fall. It felt like a message. How does a quarterback go from QB2 on paper to 144th overall in practice? Even Shedeur seemed stunned. And Deion? He looked like he'd seen a ghost, sitting quietly on the couch. He shook his head in disbelief as names flew off the board. The question on everyone's mind, was this just about football? Or was something else going on? Right after the draft, sports networks lit up with debates. ESPN, FS1, and YouTube shows everywhere were asking, what happened to Shedeur Sanders? Then came the reports. One NFL coach said Shedeur gave off bad vibes during a pre-draft interview. Another said he acted like he was doing us a favor. It wasn't just his confidence, it was a sense that he believed he was above the process. NFL draft analyst Todd McShay added fuel to the fire, saying multiple teams reported attitude concerns. One NFC East coach even claimed Shedeur seemed disinterested during playbook install drills, asking, "Do y'all even know what to do with a quarterback like me?" Meanwhile, Deion's public statements weren't helping. He told a podcast host, "If a team ain't trying to change their franchise for my son, they shouldn't draft him." He also hinted that if the wrong team picked Shedeur, they'd force a trade, just like Eli Manning's famous move in 2004. To team owners, this felt like a power play. They don't like being told what to do, and many believe Deion had crossed the line. This wasn't just about Shedeur's game, it was about Deion's influence. And in the NFL, that can be more dangerous than anything on the field. Deion Sanders isn't one to bite his tongue, and after watching what happened to his son, he didn't hold back. According to sources close to him, Deion told multiple people he believes NFL owners colluded to keep Shedeur from getting picked early. He said this wasn't a coincidence, it was a calculated takedown. His theory? The powerful men running the NFL wanted to humble him, to remind him that no matter how loud he talks, no matter how good his sons are, he doesn't run this league. Deion pointed to a prank call, the silence from teams, the weird way his son dropped round after round. All of it, he believes, was connected, a setup to knock them down a peg. And he's not the only one saying it. Dr. Umar Johnson, a public figure known for his commentary on race, came out and said this was a clear act of institutional control. He called it a wake-up call for any black man who thinks he can challenge the system. Even casual fans began connecting dots. On social media, people posted side-by-side comparisons of white quarterbacks who were drafted despite poor interviews, off-field issues, or bad stats, and asked, why not Shedeur? The theory hasn't been confirmed, but it caught fire, and now it's hard to ignore. The whispers started almost immediately after the draft. Behind closed doors, sources claimed that some NFL owners weren't just avoiding Shedeur Sanders, they were actively warning their teams to stay away. According to former NFL quarterback Boomer Esiason, at least a few teams completely removed Shedeur from their draft boards, not because of a lack of talent, but because they didn't want the headache of dealing with his outspoken father. Boomer even hinted that certain owners gave quiet instructions to their front offices, don't take him early. Other reports fueled the fire. There's talk of a so-called gentleman's agreement, an unspoken pact between some owners and coaches to let Shedeur drop as a way of humbling both him and Deion. While there's no proof of such a deal, insiders say the energy behind the scenes definitely changed once Deion started making bold public comments about who could and couldn't draft his sons. Even NFL Hall of Famer Chris Carter weighed in, shutting down the idea of a formal conspiracy by admitting the league wanted to teach them a lesson. He said point blank, Deion and Shedeur ain't running shit. The system showed them who's boss. So far, no NFL owner has officially responded to Deion's claims of collusion. No press conferences, no public denials, but the lack of denial has only made the rumors louder. And for many fans, that silence speaks louder than words. Whether it's true or not, the gossip had taken hold. And for now, the theory that the NFL tried to humble the Sanders family is widely believed. Deion Sanders is a proud dad. No one questions that. But some fans, and even NFL insiders, are starting to wonder if he may have gotten in his son's way. Throughout the draft process, Deion made headlines for his bold comments. He said Shedeur would only go to the right team. He said he'd step in if the pick didn't feel right. He even said Shedeur and Travis Hunter were changing the game. That confidence is inspiring, but in the NFL, it also scares people. Front offices don't like distractions. They want control. And drafting Shedeur, some feared, meant drafting Deion too. Not officially, but emotionally. He's always in the media, always on social, always protecting his son. A few coaches reportedly said they worried about criticism. Would they be able to coach Shedeur honestly? Or would Deion go on Twitter and blast them if things don't go right? No one wants drama in the locker room. And Deion, whether he meant to or not, made it sound like he was a part of the package deal. If this was only about talent, Shedeur Sanders would have been a day 1 or 2 pick. His stats were strong, his leadership clear, and he played under more pressure than most college quarterbacks. But that's not how the NFL works. Multiple scouts raised concerns. They said Shedeur lacked elite arm strength, didn't move well under pressure, and wasn't great at escaping the pocket. And when they mixed those concerns with reports of arrogance, teams got nervous. Still, many fans are calling foul. They pointed out that players like Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, and even Zach Wilson were known for bad interviews, shaky attitudes, or off-field behavior, and still got drafted early. Why were those things competitive fire for them, but cockiness for Shedeur? The answer, many believe, comes down to race and image. The NFL has a long history of punishing confident black quarterbacks while giving white ones the benefit of the doubt. So was this about Shedeur's game or his name? So now we're left with one question. Was Shedeur Sanders sabotage? Or did the NFL simply decide that Deion's bold approach was too much to handle? There are no official memos, no statements, no public confessions, but the timing, the silence, and the patterns all paint a picture that many believe is more than coincidence. Shedeur went from top-tier prospect to a 5th-round afterthought, and to fans watching, it didn't feel like football. It felt like politics. Is it possible that Deion, with all his fame, confidence, and defiance, challenged the NFL's unspoken rules? That by speaking too loudly, he made his son a target? Or maybe this is just how the NFL works. Cold, calculated, and unforgiving when it comes to control. Some say Shedeur was humbled, others say he was blackballed. But no matter which side you believe, one thing is clear. The NFL sends a message, and Deion heard it loud and clear. But the real question is, how will he respond next? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Was this sabotage or a warning shot? And is this the last time the NFL will try to check Deion Sanders? Because if history tells us anything, prime time doesn't stay quiet for long.